respected dignitaries, especially the chairman sir, the principal sir, head of the department, vice principal sir, and others. Especially, I extend my heartfelt regards and gratitude to all the authorities of St. Alphonsa College, and especially to our beloved and respected Dr. R. Sivanation, sir, for repeatedly contacting me and with his warm welcome. I am delighted. I express my delightfulness, and without wasting much time, I express my heartfelt regards and gratitude to all the dignitaries. Even some people are from Philippines, I see. So it is not a national webinar. It has come to international flavor. And I also thank, very sorry for my forgetfulness. I also thank Dr. D. Mari Prema Madam for nicely organizing the webinar. And without wasting much time, directly going to my business, because with the people, with the teachers of commerce, we remember this famous quotation: business of a business is to do business. So today our business is to deal with the confusions of the beginners, the researchers, and those who have completed their PhDs but were going to do more research. Their confusions are regarding the term plagiarism, its stigma, and how to remove plagiarism and how to do a good citation. And along with that, UGC has stipulated a mandatory 30 hours course in every PhD coursework regarding research ethics. I'll be touching upon firstly the research ethics part, because plagiarism is only a component of a research ethics. And after that, we'll deal with directly the plagiarism part, and we'll show hands on how it is, how the plagiarism is going to be pointed out, is checked by the software, and how it is to be removed, and how the citation is going to be shown and it is to be increased. So it may take about 1.5 hours. So please just knock me if you are bored. So I'm starting without wasting much time. I'm sharing my screen. First, I'll start with the research ethics, and everything told by me will be based on some literature. And definitely, without literature, we cannot move, because nothing is my own words. And I'll start with the ethical issues in social science research, business research, and management research. And this is the picture not of coronavirus or not of terrorism or something else, but of plagiarism in different countries of the world. And you see that although not leading like USA, Bulgaria, Egypt, and Germany and Iran, India is not far behind. That is, in the last year, 471 out of 4283 authors were flagged due to plagiarism. So this is the picture, and definitely this is alarming, because there are some punishments related with plagiarism, and also kind of reputation hampered due to these plagiarism issues. So starting from the literature review on research ethics, you can go through these 3-4 books which are very important. Firstly, Research Ethics, a handbook of principles and procedures by University of Gloucestershire in November 2018 and February 2020. Then Guidelines for Research Ethics in the Social Science, Humanities, Law and Technology by the Norwegian National Research Ethics Committee for in June 2016. And then a very good book, that is Handbook of Research Ethics and Scientific Integrity by Ipofen Ron in 2020. So actually, what does research ethics means? Because before going to plagiarism, I have said it is only a component of research ethics, and I'll have to define. It's my duty to define research ethics. The term research ethics refers to a wide variety of values, norms, and institutional arrangements that help constitute and regulate scientific activities. Research ethics is a codification of scientific morality in practice. Guidelines for research ethics specify the basic norms and values of the research community. They are based on general ethics of science, just as general ethics is based on the morality of society at large. So there are certain research ethics committees established all over the world in different countries. I'll go through some of them, starting with Norway. The three national research ethics committees like NEM, NENT, and NESH were established in 1990 based on the proposition to the starting number 28 from 1988 to 89. Fox King in 2007, the Research Ethics Act provided a legal mandate for the three committees and also for the establishment of a national commission for the investigation of research misconduct. With effect from 1st January 2013, the Norwegian National Research Ethics Committee, FEK, was established as an independent administrative agency under the Ministry of Education and Research. This is the first move in the world regarding the Ethics Committee in research. Then coming to the USA, although it started much earlier, but finalized thereafter, many days after. The National Research Act 1974 started in USA. National Research Act 1974, it started in USA due to publicity from the Tuskegee syphilis study. The National Research Act of 1974 was passed. The Commission drafted the Belmont Report, a fundamental document for the ethics for human subjects research in the United States. And now India is not also far behind. Lot of researches have been done on the research ethics. Firstly, the clinical research. We have seen in the last year that a very significant invention in India was there regarding the invention of this COVID vaccine. And this is a part of clinical research. And this clinical research requires lots of research ethics. The DCGI is responsible for regulatory approval for the conduct of clinical trials in India, which is governed by the rules in amended Schedule Y. In addition to the experts at DCGI's office, they also avail the expertise of external experts and other government agencies like Indian Council for Medical Research, that is ICMR, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, that is GEAC, Department of Biotechnology, that is DBT, and Atomic Energy Review Board, that is AERB. Additionally, approvals are required from the Director General of Foreign Trade, that is DGFT, for export of clinical trial samples, whole blood, sera, plasma, or urine to central laboratories located outside India. There are certain ethical committees or ethics committees or ECs, and EC is an independent body constituted of medical or scientific professionals and non-medical or non-scientific members whose responsibility is to ensure the protection of the rights, safety, and well-being of human subjects involved in a trial. The EC ensures a competent review of all ethical aspects of the project proposals and conducts this review in an unbiased and objective manner. There's some bell ringing, and please mute kindly if possible. There are two categories of issues. One is Institutional Ethics Committee in India, which is comparable to the Institutional Review Boards, that is IRB, in the developing countries. And it is a board or committee or group formally constituted by an institution which is tasked to review documents submitted from clinical trials to provide an opinion on these research projects involving human subjects. The primary purpose of such review is to assure the protection of the rights, safety, and well-being of the human subjects participating in clinical trials. An IEC, International Ethics Committee, is an independent body which is not part of any institution, constituted to review documents submitted for the conduct of clinical trials and to provide an opinion on research projects involving human subjects. The primary purpose of such review is to assure the protection of the rights, safety, and well-being of the human subjects participating in clinical trials. Now the guidelines for research ethics and plagiarism will be a part of it. Coming to that, these are the norms that constitute good scientific practice relating to the quest for accurate, adequate, and relevant knowledge, that is academic freedom, originality, openness, trustworthiness, etc. Norms that regulate the research community, that is integrity, accountability, impartiality, criticism, etc. The relationship to people who take part in the research, that is respect, human dignity, confidentiality, free and informed consent, etc. The relationship to the rest of society, that is independence, conflict of interest, social responsibility, dissemination of interest, etc. Any question you may ask, but please don't create noise. You can directly ask questions, no problem. Now there are certain ethical guidelines and legislation, and plagiarism is a part of this. I'll continue more than 30 minutes, and after that I'll stop and take some questions. So please let me continue, and after that I'll take questions. Now it is very important for the universities and colleges which have a statutory responsibility for ensuring that research, education, and academic and artistic development are of high quality and conducted in accordance with the recognized scientific, artistic, pedagogical, and ethical principles. There are certain principles which lead to the research, society, and ethics. Firstly, norms and values of research. Please give me 1 minute. Just please give me a minute. Please give me a minute. Call from the authority. Very sorry, some other thing was said. Please don't mind. Call from the university authority, so please don't mind. So there are some. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
so,
sir.
Okay, there are some principles regarding ethics, society, and research. Firstly, norms and values of research. Here, researchers are obliged to comply with recognized norms of research ethics. Then, freedom of research. According to it, both researchers and the research institutions are responsible for preserving the freedom and independence of research, especially when the topic is controversial or when strategic or commercial considerations impose pressure and constraints on research. Thirdly, responsibility of research. Responsible research requires freedom from control and constraint. Suppose you are doing a research on your own, you have your own research judgment, and your authority is trying to say that you don't do it. Then you have the logic to explain that I must have the independence as the researcher to undergo with it if there is no unethical issue in between. So you have to clear this And as a researcher, you must be having a responsibility. Then responsibility of institutions also. Institution must be giving you the seed money. If you go to the NAC AQAR format, there is a column regarding who is doing this, who is annotating. Please don't annotate. If I get disturbed, I'll just quit the place. So definitely, what I was saying, I'm giving you information. I'm trying to help you. Please cooperate. There is a column in the AQAR guideline that whether your institution gives you the seed money. The seed money is to be given by every university or college to its teachers for attending conferences, seminars, and pursuing research. So this is the responsibility of the institution. Then human dignity. When you are collecting your data, as a researcher, you must be have the duty to respect for the human dignity. Then privacy. Researchers must respect the participants' autonomy, integrity, freedom, and right of co-determination. And duty to inform. You must be, as researcher, providing participants with adequate information. Your research questionnaire should be with some declaration that this data is used for research purposes only. Your identity will be kept confidential, and this declaration must be followed by the signature of the respondent. So it is the duty of the researcher to inform about what is going on through this research, and the information will be kept as confidential. Then consent and obligation to notify. This is also a duty of the researcher. Confidentiality already stated, and limited reuse. Personal data which is collected by a researcher should not be replicated to another research. That is called also part of plagiarism. So one data for one research should be used once only. I'm just stopping the sharing and using just one security option so that yes. Is it visible? Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. Please don't annotate. Lots of things to show you. Then storage of personal data. Data relating to identifiable individuals must be stored responsibly. Such data must not be stored any longer than what is necessary to achieve the objective. So unnecessary storage of data is not intended. Responsibility for avoiding harm. Suppose you are using some animal. There is a need for animal ethics committee. In every institution, there should be an animal ethics, and animal ethics committee should be there, and respect for third parties. Researchers should consider an anticipate effect on third parties. Suppose you are the author of one article, then you should have respect for your co-authors. Definitely, this is a part of the research. Protection of the children. Children and adolescents who take part in research are particularly entitled for protection. Then respect for privacy and family life. I am not going to everything, but you see lots of issues are there. I'll be giving you this presentation. You can share amongst yourself. I'll be giving to the authority. Respect for private and family life, respect for the values and motives of others, respect for posthumous reputations. That is, it is important to act with care when conducting research on diseased person. Then defining roles and responsibilities, respect for private interest, respect for public administration, respect for vulnerable groups, preservation of cultural monuments and remains, research on other cultures, limits on cultural recognition, then co-authorship, I have already told. Now, good citation practice. You see, among the 30 components, only one component is good citation practice. The next component is plagiarism, then is scientific integrity, then data sharing and impartiality. So, only 2-3 components out of the 30 components in research ethics are good citation and plagiarism. Now, what I'll be doing is we'll be dealing with the plagiarism. Now, plagiarism, what it is and how it is to be avoided. So, plagiarism is defined in dictionaries as the wrongful appropriation, close imitation, or purloining and publication of another author's language, thought, ideas, or expressions, and the representation of them as one's own original work. Maximum we can take 3 to 5% from one source, but it also differs from situation to situation. So you should be writing in your own language and do not copy as it is. Author's name may be blacklisted because of plagiarism. So there are different types of plagiarism, and it is touching upon the issues of copyright also. So plagiarism is an act of stealing someone else's work and attempting to pass it off as your own. I'll be telling you a story, one line story. When I was in class 2, some of my friends used to say every day that his father keeps money in reserve bank. I took it very seriously. But one day he told me that his father wrote one Rabindra Sangit. That day I realized that he was lying, because Rabindra Sangit can be written by only Rabindranath Tagore and nobody else. Suppose poetry by famous poet Trivaluvara can be written by Trivaluvara only, not by me. So if I claim that I have written some poetry of Trivaluvara, so I'll be lying, and this is nothing but plagiarism. If I write it officially, it is plagiarism. So, am I audible? Any question up to this? You can unmute and ask. You can unmute anybody. All the co-hosts are also there. Any question?
No, sir.
Okay. Then coming to the issue of copyright. There is a direct relation between plagiarism and copyright. Copyright is a form of protection provided by law in the United States first. It came to India in 1971, and lots of laws relating to copyright violation is there. I'll be showing you hands-on when plagiarism violates the copyright. I'll be showing you. So, copyright is the law relating to the violation of original works of authorship, including literary, dramatic, musical, artistic, and certain other intellectual works. This protection is available to both published and unpublished works. Now, fair use is just the reverse case. If you see, if this is the universal set and the major pi is the copyright violation, and the other pi left here is known as fair use. Fair use is a statute under copyright law that allows for the use of limited portions of a work that has copyright without having to have permission from the original author. It was created for the purpose of education and research. It is a little harder to pin down than plagiarism or copyright, and very limited portion of the work can be of fair use, and the other portion is violating of copyright, or the vice versa. Next, what are the legal implications? Is it against the law? How is it applied at the college level? Most schools and universities have policies on cheating and plagiarism. So, for the first offense, failing grade on assignment, and UGC, according to Plagiarism Act 2018, has clearly stated if plagiarism is up to 10% in the publication or in the thesis, there is no punishment. If the percentage is between 10% and 40%, the researcher and the supervisor is given a second chance to rewrite it and resubmit it. And if the plagiarism percentage is more than 40 to 60%, then the researcher may be debarred up to 1 year for resubmission. And the research supervisor is also debarred from supervising any other candidate. If it is above 60%, then both the researcher and the supervisor is punished. So researcher's registration is cancelled, and the supervisor's increment is cut down by 1 year, promotion is cut down by 1 year, and so and so. This is the officially laid down rules as per the UGC Plagiarism Act 2018, implemented from 1st January 2018. So, what are the different types of plagiarism? We have come to know about the rules, the regulation. Now, what about the different types of plagiarism? The straight cut thing is copying. First type. The most well known and sadly the most common type of plagiarism is the simplest, that is copying. If you copy someone else's work and put your name on it, you have plagiarized. Just the story I have told you, the example I have given to you. This is the example. This is a work by Philip Zimbardo, the famous writer you all know on shyness. And this is the original work. And somebody has straightforward copying it without the name of Zimbardo. It comes to copying. Second type is known as patchwork plagiarism. The second kind of plagiarism is similar to copying. You see, the first and last portion are same, and the middle portion are made different. It is like the patchwork. Some female participants are also there. I think you are doing your stitch work, and among that you are used to do your patchwork. So patchwork means either the first and last part of the article or thesis is same, and the middle portion is changed, or the vice versa. The first and last portion is changed, and the middle portion remains the same. The offense is same in case of patchwork plagiarism. If you do any of the things, definitely it is an offense. Then no need to give more example. Then paraphrasing. Paraphrasing means some sentences are taken and they are reconstructed. So this reconstruction is also taken by the software. Can be caught by the software. I'll be showing you how it is changed and how that thing is also caught. It is paraphrasing. It was the original. This original by Zimbardo is changed. You see, the yellow portions are changed, sentence are reconstructed. So it is called paraphrasing, and this paraphrasing is a bigger offense than the mere copying. So this should not be done. And last type is unintentional. And definitely, when you are caught red-handed, somebody is caught red-handed, he or she often says that it is unintentional. But initially, I remember the principal sir or the chairman sir said that some kind of unintentional plagiarism is also there when somebody is thinking. Suppose 3 or 4 persons are doing research work under the same supervisor, and some of them are all of them are thinking in the same way. If somebody publishes earlier and without knowing that some other person makes some publication with the same thought, then it is unintentional plagiarism. And if it is proved that it is unintentional, legally proved, then definitely no punishment for that. Now, I'll be coming to how to avoid the plagiarism. Very simple. As simple as that, you have just completed from your nurseries to master degree and post master degrees, postgraduates, postgraduates you have completed. Have you completed it? Anybody else? Is there any problem in talking? Co-host can unmute the persons. Is there any problem in talking, interacting? What is this? Anybody cannot talk?
No, sir. No, sir.
Everything is fine, sir. Go ahead, please.
Everything fine.
Now we can actually talk. Previously, we were not able to talk.
Okay. So I am just asking a simple question. Anybody can answer that. Have you, any of you have passed from nursery to master's degree or post-master's degree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And in all the, thank you, madam.
Yes, sir.
In all the examinations,
Completed.
you have taken some quotations from somebody, some authors. In all the examinations, many of the examinations, you have taken some quotations from some authors, from some book.
Yes. Yes,
Then,
sir, we have taken.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So, when you have
Yes,
taken the
sir.
quotations, have you all the times taken the name of the authors? Definitely not.
No, no.
No, sir.
Definitely not. So
No.
that is not
No,
at all
sir.
a plagiarism, because you have passed successfully all the examinations. This is the first confusion to be cleared, that you have taken quotations in your all examinations from different authors and you have not cited their names, because you have not written the thesis, you have written the answer script. That's why it was not at all a plagiarism. And this technique you have to follow in thesis also, in research paper also. You have to be the student of nursery, as simple-minded as that. You just read and write. Don't copy and paste. This is my first and foremost suggestion as elder brother to you, because in research I'm a bit experienced. You have already uh, informed that I have adjudicated more than 200 theses. So, from my very little experience, I want to suggest that please be honest. Please make 20 literature review, not 200. And you read all the literatures honestly and give some time to you. After reading the literature thoroughly, you write in a separate piece of paper, not going through the paper, original literature, you write in your own language. That will be as simple as avoiding plagiarism, because your thesis is divided into certain chapters. Some of them are empirical. In social science research, most of the chapters are empirical. Those which are not empirical, those are based on literature review or theoretical aspect. Definitely it may happen that unintentionally you might take from others. So make it a habit that you read them and you write them after some time in your own language. That is the best way to avoid plagiarism. Nextly, you have to use a good citation practices. First of all, you use your own work as often as possible. Self plagiarism has also been enacted. So don't, please avoid greed. Don't take it otherwise. Please avoid greed. You have one research paper on one empirical work. Please don't take that same data and make another research paper with that empirical data. So try to avoid greed. You please believe it or not, only 2 or 3 good research papers per year will make you successful in life, not only academically but also administratively in getting good positions. You see the famous Nobel laureates like Amartya Sen and others, Abhijit Vinayak Bandyopadhyay, they had only 1-2 research scholars and they had 2-3 research papers per year, not 20, not 200. So when you are doing lots of quantitative work, there may be error. And when you are doing qualitative work, not compromising with your quantity, then definitely you will be overcoming this problem of plagiarism. Any question? Somebody is talking. Any question? I apprehend there is no question. You can ask. You can ask, please. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, then I am continuing. Now, quotation. Unknowingly, I may fall into the trap of plagiarism. Then I have to use quotation in a properly fashioned manner. There are 2 types of quotation. One is MLA, popularly used. Another is APA or Chicago quotation. So MLA quotations are like this: indirect quotation, direct quotation, and paraphrasing quotation. And APA quotations are like this: indirect quotation, direct quotation, and paraphrasing. These examples I'll give you because there is not enough time to explain this. I'll give you this hands-on handout to the authority so that you can get only one example I am giving. That you see, for lots of proper citation practices for MLA quotations. You see, MLA quotations for books starts with the author, with the last name of the author, then the first name, then the middle name, then with the article, then with the publication name, then the year. And for chapter in a book, there is a different manner to get it quoted. And in APA citations also, just in Google you type APA citation, you will get everything for books, for book chapters, for articles from a database or a website. Specifically to mention about website in both MLA and APA citation. Not only the website is sufficient in your bibliography, there is a difference in between bibliography and reference. Could you tell me what is the difference? Anybody? Anybody can tell me? Follow, sir. What is the difference between bibliography and reference?
Yes, sir. Actually, bibliography consists of books only, whereas a reference consists of all sources like website and all.
Not very good answer, sir. You have submitted thesis. So not very, I think you are busy with some other work. Bibliography consists of books, articles in journals, websites, newspaper reports, blogs, everything. And references means only references from articles of journals which you are putting in the research papers. So in thesis, you have to come up with bibliography, and in research articles, you have to come up with reference. But everywhere, you have to come up with certain sort of practice in citation. This is APA citation. Just in Google, you write APA, and you will see American Psychological Association. You will see the pattern for book, pattern for chapter in a book, article from database, for everything. And for website, you must be particularly writing the date and time. Not only the web link or the URL is enough. You have to write the date and time of surfing through that web link. This is very much needed. So this is the style of citation. And regarding plagiarism, there are certain issues, there are certain debates. So in my presentation, I have given all the details websites. You can go through it. Next, I'll be discussing about some software which deal with the checking of plagiarism. There are some freely available software and there are some purchased software. In southern India, most of the universities, including your college, might be using Urkund or Arkand. It's pronouncing Urkund or Arkand. And there are certain other plagiarism softwares which are freely available, like Viper, like Plagiarisma, like Plagiarism Checker X, and so on. These are freely available, but all over the world, the very popularly used plagiarism checker is Turnitin. And in our university also, there is a paid version of Turnitin, and which takes around 10 lakhs to subscribe per year. And this is a huge software which has a huge database taken into account. So it is very authentic software to determine how the plagiarism is there in a particular article or in a particular thesis. So coming up with the example of plagiarism checker, it is available free. You can go through it. You just type plagiarism checker in Google, and there are certain easy steps written here, like click start now, but there are word limitations. There is a fixed box, more or less about 1000 words you can check at a time. And there are certain steps like using this verification process by identifying the images just for checking your computer from which you are going to do this. And after that, this plagiarism report comes. This is the plagiarism report which uses only 1000 words at a time. And this is the plagiarism report. You see there is written it as 0% plagiarism, that is 100% unique. But it is not at all true, because no work can be having 0% plagiarism. At least, like every statistical test, in plagiarism checking also, 5 to 10% error, that is plagiarism, must be there. So I am showing you another software, that is the Turnitin. This Turnitin, how to use it, and how to get the report. This is the screenshot, but I am not going to show you the screenshot. I'll be going to show you the real thing. Just give me 1 minute. Just one thesis has come today to me from University of Madras. I am not going to show you the details, but I am going to show you one chapter of it, how I'll check. I think it is seen, it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir. It is visible.
And this is the Turnitin software. You see, my name is written here. My role is instructor. And students can also check through this portal. Students are given separate login, and instructor like me as supervisor are given separate login. And you see, as instructor, I have very little time, so I'll go to the quick submit option. And through this quick submit option, I'll submit. This is, you see, my university written here, and I'll go to submit option. And in submit option, there are lots of options like search the internet. Don't go for it, because in internet, everything, maybe your title, your name also given repeatedly. So that can also attract plagiarism. So don't go for it. Don't go for student papers. Only go for search for periodicals, journals, and publications. And there is another technique. This option you should not use standard paper repository. What is that? When you search for plagiarism of an article or of a chapter of a thesis, it will be there in the repository. That is within the locker of this Turnitin. So when again this is checked, it will show double percentage, because once its plagiarism is checked. So go for no repository. Go for no repository, and then go for submit option. And from there you have to write the name. I am not going to disclose the name of that person. I am just writing the abbreviation HK Krishnan. And the submission title, I am not going to disclose. I am writing just the G marketing. Not full title I am going to disclose. And I'll be taking it from the computer. I'll be taking it from the computer. This chapter 12, chapter 2 I'll be taking. And you see, I have taken the chapter 2, and I'll check for plagiarism. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Just it has been uploaded. Now we have to confirm and go to the assignment box. We have to go to the assignment box to check for plagiarism. Now you see, this is the first one, which is unchecked, because lots of papers are checked for plagiarism. You see the result. It is not plagiarism, it is called similarity in Turnitin. Similarity and plagiarism are not same. So I'll recheck for the report. I'll have to refresh more and more. take some time because this software is used online worldwide by so many people. Now you see, report has come, I think. Just I'll move to the second page. Constantly somebody is annotating. This is HK Krishnan. Do you see it? How much is the plagiarism percentage?
13%, sir.
13%. Very good. So now we have to avoid the UGC regulation. Let the Turnitin report come. This is the Turnitin report. Plagiarism percentage is 13. Now go to the filter option and you have to go for excluding quotes, excluding bibliography, and the number of words would be maximum 14 at a time as per UGC norms. Now apply changes. Now the plagiarism percentage is reduced. How much it comes?
10%.
Around 10%.
10%. So as per UGC norms, the percentage is reduced. Even after that, you have to go by judgment. That's why the journals require editorial board, reviewers, peer reviewers, and the thesis required adjudicators or examiners. You see, for example, this is the item number 2. You see the item number 2. The 2 is given. Green. Is it at all a plagiarism? The word green can be in any document. It is not copying from anybody else. It is a common word. Then environmental or eco-marketing. It is taken from this one. Devaprag Chaudhary. And the percentage is 2%. So you cannot change or eliminate this because this is a common word. And some sentences are taken at a time. You see, this sentence is taken at a time. So this sentence has to be revised. So here we have to use the single user judgment or the editor's judgment or the reviewer's judgment, and the percentage can be reduced from here. You can eliminate or exclude sources. You see, lots of sources are having more than these sources are having 5%. That means 5% portion is copied. So you have to be very cautious. It has to be changed rigorously. But the sources with less than 1%, they can be easily excluded. These sources with less than 1% similarity, they can be excluded. Suppose I take this one and exclude this. I can exclude these sources with less than 1% similarity because they are having very negligible percent. Then the overall plagiarism may come down. Overall overall similarity may come down to 9%. From 10% it comes down to 9%. So this is the question of individual judgment, and that's why the role of the reviewer or the editorial board is very much important. So any question up to this?
No, sir. Clear. Very clear.
Sir, I have one doubt.
Yes, please.
Sir, actually the instrument detail will be given the paper. So it shows some plagiarism, sir. How to avoid this one?
Repeat your question and I cannot get it.
Yeah. The instrument detail given the paper. The instrument detail will give the show the plagiarism, sir.
Yes, this long line in colored portion gives plagiarism, gives similarity, not plagiarism, from particular source, and you have to rewrite. Anyway, you have to rewrite. This does not fall into the category of quotation. Even if it is quotation, you must change it because it has flagged. It has been flagged.
Okay.
Somebody is talking. So this flagged portion you have to rewrite somehow. Then only the reduced portion will come, because 5% taking from one article is an offense. You cannot take more than 1%. these 2% also you have to rewrite, because these cumulative portion of these 2%, 2%, 2%, 2% gives you a plagiarism of 9% and so on. So ideally, your article should be plagiarism free. It is only a thesis, it is only a chapter of the thesis. If only one chapter is 9%, then if there are 5 chapters, it could be 45% or 40%. So you have to avoid that. For that, you have to rewrite your sentence and resubmit it. And when a large portion is flagged in colored, you have to go through these serial numbers. Serial numbers are given like 1, 2. You can recognize it by color, and you can download the report also. You can, how you will download the report? This report can be downloaded. I am showing you, and you have to take the printout or the soft copy of this report in PDF form, and you have to revise thoroughly. I'm just showing you how the report is coming. Yes, report has come. This report has come, and this is, you see, total number of word count, the day, the time on which it was checked for plagiarism, and submission ID, and the chapter, total word count, character count, everything is given. And at the end of the report, if you go for the end of the report, you'll see 9% similarity index, and the details of the sources will be given from which you have taken. The details will be given, and these details you have to read very carefully. From where it has been taken, it is given very in detail. It is given. So you have to read it carefully and revise the colored portion. And revise the colored portion so that the plagiarism percentage is reduced. Did you get my point?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. I have a question. That is, when you check any paper through plagiarism, may it be a thesis or a paper, in that case, what is the rule means for UGC guidelines that you should check it including the bibliography, quotes and bibliography, or it is excluding quotes?
Exclude quote, exclude bibliography, and you cannot use more than 14 words at a time. This is the UGC norm.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. And we can use the student version of Turnitin.
Please don't go for student papers, because it will give you a larger percentage. Student papers are not expected to be copied by a researcher, but if doubt arises, you can check it. And please don't keep the paper or the checked item in repository. If you keep it in repository, then if somebody again checks for similarity, then the percentage will be doubled. So you cannot get rid of the plagiarism in any way as you have kept the same in repository. So when checking plagiarism through Turnitin, please be very cautious that you don't keep it in standard repository. Always use the option no repository. Any other question? I think no other question. Should I proceed? Should I proceed?
Yes, sir. Please, sir.
Okay. So now I am going to a separate portion. From plagiarism to a separate portion, that is how to cite properly and how to increase the citation. And I have a manual with me. I'm not going to detail out, but I have prepared this manual for you only, how to check plagiarism with Turnitin. This manual already, as I have shown you, so I'm not wasting my time on and your time in going page by page. Only 1, 2 things I'll show you. Some steps are there: getting access to the classroom and creating an assignment. For that, you have to contact your institution's administrator requesting access to Turnitin, and then you have to start with get started button in the email after they give you the access. And then from the get started button, you go to the introductory page within the Turnitin where the first steps were explained, and then scroll down the page and click on create password at the bottom. And from here, you have to create your own password. Please don't give your password to others as instructor or as student. Then already these explained. Then getting access to the system, click a link after creating your password, wait for 24 hours and a link will come to your email. Click on that link in the email and follow the instructions and choose your strong password. And click on next and log in. Click login now and log in with your email and new password. Then get access to the system, and now you have logged in, and then you have to create this one, create account. You have to create account in the Turnitin as instructor or as student, and and then you have to create a class. For every year you have a class as instructor, either master's class or PhD class, and then you have to create a class for that. Just like in the Google Classroom, same is there in the Turnitin also, add class. And in the new class, where you will get your class ID and password, and you will share it with your students so that they can directly submit their publishable items in the classroom and you can check it. And this is so on. And after that, I have shown you everything that for quick submission, there are certain settings I have already explained, not going into the details. And for students and for instructors, there are certain avenues available, and join account will lead to a new student to a new class, and then you have to check your originality, and after that your originality report or similarity report comes. So I think I have already explained this practically. So this handout I'll be giving it to you for your help. Now I am going to the next part, that is how to increase your citation and how to create your citation. There are, apart from MLA and APA, avenues available to you through MS Word. Very simple. And in MS Word, you just click on one blank MS Word. I'm clicking on a blank file. You see, I'm clicking on a blank file. And I think you are able to see it. And this portion, 1 minute, I have not shared it. হ্যাঁ বলুন। I think you are able to see it, this reference portion. Reference portion, are you able to see it? And in this reference portion, there is place for citation. I'm going to show you. In this reference portion, you see there are places for footnote and endnote. In thesis, we have to deal with the footnote and endnote. And there is portion for citation and referencing, style, bibliography, everything. Insert citation portion is there. Insert caption portion is there. And this is the referencing portion which we use and in thesis or in research papers. Now that I'll be going to show you one by one how to do it in MS Word. It is many times we see that essay or report writers are required to insert citations on a bibliography into documents. To some, this is a tedious process that requires a lots of concentration and in fact is put up until the very end. Sometimes by the end of the report, the writer has forgotten all the resources consulted. So Microsoft Word has an inbuilt system to enable you insert citations while you write and automatically insert the bibliography at the end of your report or essay. By the end of this module, you should be able to number one, insert uniform citations, number two, insert a bibliography or list of works cited with the document, number three, keep track of all reference material used during the research or report. Now, the common citation styles already explained are the Harvard APA or APA, MLA, Chicago, IEEE, and Turabian. For purposes of uniformity, examples will be drawn from APA style only. Now, under step 1 in MS Word, open an MS Word page where the citations are required. The document is already typed out, then find the spots where the citations are required. Particular line on which citations are required, you just spot it. And the document, if it is not yet typed out, then insert the citations as your work. You see, this is the reference portion I have already shown you. In step 2, go to the reference portion. And in step 3, go to citation or bibliography. Already marked here. This handout also I'll be going to give you. Under step 4, select the style under the drop-down menu. These are the styles. Select the manage sources and then source manager will come on. Source manager will come on from here. And this is a permanent record of sources and can therefore be used by any MS Word document. And here you can write in the step 5, that is a type of source, author, then title, then periodical title, then year, then month, then day, then pages. Everything you can write. And you can click on OK. And this is a placeholder where you click and automatically the citation will be at the end of the file or at the end of the page, wherever you like. And you can edit it because this is editable option. Under step 6, click on OK. After all the available fields have been filled, select new for every new source entry and click close after all entries have been made. And this is the create source option. And here you have to, after filling all the data, you have to click on OK. And again, I am showing you the new citation. After completing one citation, you go to the new one and you create another citation. This is the source manager button. And you can close it after the citation is completed. Under step 7, to place a citation, click on insert citation and select the required citation, and it will automatically be inserted according to the citation style required. You don't have to think for APA or MLA, it will be done under APA only by default. And to place a bibliography or list of references at the end of your report, click on bibliography. This gives you two options, either to insert works cited or to insert a bibliography. This includes both cited and non-cited works, and sources are saved permanently and can therefore be used for multiple documents. To use a source already saved on the master's list, copy it into the current list. And in the current list, you see it is already copied and therefore it is saved permanently. And there are some useful links from where you can get this information, like office.com. This hands-on I am also mailing to Dr. Sivanesan, so that you can get all the information. And next I am going to show you the last part of my work, that is Turnitin. I have already shown you some concept in report writing. Before that, I am going to the publication ethics. After research ethics, I have to discuss about the publication ethics. That is also very much important. So there is a committee on publication ethics, and you always hear about care listed journals. That is Consortium for Research Ethics. Before that, there was a committee on publication ethics also. This is known as Scope. So academic research in India, CARE is the national body and COPE is an international forum. for editors and publishers of peer-reviewed journals that provide the code of conduct and best practice guidelines that defines publication ethics and advises editors on how to handle cases of research and publication misconduct. So this is the guidelines. You read very carefully and use it very carefully, because there are certain steps in publication ethics. For like for approval and consent, you have to ask yourself these questions. Do you have an approval of the relevant regulatory authorities, institutional review board and ethics committee? Every institution has a research committee and ethics committee. Have you registered your clinical trial? Have you documented informed consent? And for data accuracy, falsification and fabrication, is there any manipulation of material, equipment, process or data? Have you double checked data for accuracy? And is there any lurking fake data? Then for plagiarism and self-plagiarism, have you used your own prior work or copied others' work? If so, have you cited those correctly? Do you have written permission for reproduced material? You can also do book review, literature review. So that can be cited, that should be cited properly. Then submission fraud. Is there any simultaneous submission to two journals? Sometimes we are very, we are showing our intolerance. That is, we are simultaneously submitting one article to two journals. That is beyond research ethics. And if you are caught red-handed, you will be punished. So please don't do it. It is same kind of offense like plagiarism. So have you published the entire work or part of it already? Have you excessively cited your own publications? That is very much important. You have one article in journal and you are giving in YouTube, you are giving in Facebook, you are giving in Twitter. These have certain brighter side and certain dark side too. So you have to think of it. So ethics of authorship. Have you included all the authors in a specific pre-agreed order? Recently, I went for a cash promotion of some person as selection committee expert. I have seen that two people, one is husband, another is wife, they are showing same article as the single author. Definitely, they can, they are of same subject, they can use it as co-author and corresponding author, but they have used same article as the sole author, and ultimately there was no promotion. This was the punishment. So you should be careful about giving full credit to your co-author or corresponding author. So do you have an agreement with co-authors? Are the co-authors aware of the contents of the publication? Have they had access to or hold themselves responsible for the data and its interpretation? Is there any ghost author? Suppose you have taken the name of a very big guy, very eminent person in your field, but he or she has not actually written the article or the book. And if somebody else asks them, suppose a news editor or newspaper reporter asks them, have you written this research paper or book? And if he or she simply denies, then you'll be in trouble. Even if there is a ghost author, some publishers use ghost authors for their brand naming. The author must be contacted, ghost author must be contacted, and there should be an agreement. And ideally, it should not be. Ideally, your author should be written in your name only. There should not be any ghost author. And last but not the least is conflict of interest. Have you declared relevant interest and relationships that could be seen as influencing your findings, whether financial or scientific? So these are issues relating to publication issues. Up to this, is there any question? Somebody is asking for feedback link. Any other question? I have a doubt. I'm going to submit my thesis that can I check before submitting to the university? Some people say if we check before submitting to university, it will be sorted in Google. No, this is a confusion. You can just check it by not keeping it in repository. Any other question? Then I am moving to the last portion of my discussion, that is how to increase your citation, how to enhance. Because before that, I have to explain about some concept. in report writing and in research paper writing. ISSN, we are very much confused with those concepts, very simple but very critical. ISSN is an 8-digit code used to identify newspaper, journals, magazines, and periodicals of all kinds. So, writing article in an ISSN numbered journal is not at all a credit. It is a routine matter. So, it is a mandate, it is a compulsion, that is that your article must be written in a ISSN numbered journal. But there are some fake ISSN issued by predatory journals. So, you must be checking your ISSN with DOI. You please go to the Google and type ISSN of that book or journal. ISSN of that journal. For book it is given as ISBN. So type the ISSN of the journal in which your article is published, and you will get a corresponding DOI, digital object identifier. If you don't get a digital object identifier, because the ISSN looks like this, it is a 8-digit number, and it takes the form of an acronym ISSN, International Standard Serial Number, comprising of 2 groups of 4 digits separated by a hyphen. The 8th digit is a check digit calculated according to modulus in algorithm on the basis of 7 preceding digits. This 8th control digit may be an X if the result of the computing is equal to 10. In order to avoid this ambiguity, this X is written. So this is the form of ISSN. Now what is its role? It has no actual role to play. It is only an identification number. No credit is given for an article with ISSN. Now where it is displayed, for print publication, ISSN should be shown preferably in the upper right corner of the cover. For publication in electronic media, the ISSN should be shown on the home page or the main menu if it is an online publication. Now, what is ISBN? ISBN is just an international standard book number, which is an unique international publisher's identifier number, which is meant for monograph publications. ISBN is the 13-digit number which replaces the handling of long bibliographic descriptive records. ISBN is known throughout the world as a short and clear machine-readable identification number. It is a 13-digit number, unlike the ISSN. What is DOI? Nowadays, every ISSN must be having compatibility with a DOI, digital object identifier, which makes sure that the ISSN is not fake. Lots of fake journals, lots of predatory journals and dishonest publishers are there. They are taking publishing charges and instantly publishing the article. So beware of those publishers. And this is also an academic terrorism going on all over the world. So you should check your ISSN with corresponding DOI. Now, what is peer review? This peer review word is very important. In academic publishing, the goal of peer review is to assess the quality of articles submitted for a publication in a scholarly journal. Before an article is deemed appropriate to be published in a peer-reviewed journal, it must undergo the following process. Like the author of the article must submit it to the journal editor, who forwards the article to experts in the field. Because the reviewers specialize in the same scholarly area as the author, they are considered as the author's peers. Hence, this is called the peer-reviewed journal. These impartial reviewers are charged with carefully evaluating the quality of the submitted manuscripts. The peer reviewers check the manuscript for accuracy and assess the validity of the research methodology and procedures. And if appropriate, they suggest revisions. If they find the article lacking in scholarly validity and rigor, they reject it. Now, already I have mentioned what is peer reviewed. Now, what is impact factor? Impact factor is a term used nowadays that you will be given certain points if the journal is having certain impact factor and so on. The impact factor is a measure of the frequency with which the average article in a journal has been cited in a particular year. It is used to measure the importance or rank of a journal by calculating the times its articles are cited. How impact factor is calculated? The calculation is based on a 2-year period and involves dividing the number of times articles were cited by the number of articles that are citable. So this is the procedure. Suppose we are going to calculate the impact factor of a 2010 article of a journal. Here A is the number of times articles published in 2008 and 9, which were cited by the index journals during 2010. and B is the total number of citable items published in 2008 and 2009, and A by B is the 2010 impact factor. Now, there are certain reliability factor of impact factor also. So, I have also given certain references from where you can have the idea that impact factor can also be boosted. I'll show you if I get time. Now, coming to the H index part. What is the H index? H index is an author level metric that attempts to measure both the productivity and citation impact of the publications of a scientific or a scholarly journal, of a scientist or a scholar. This is the individual author index. The impact factor is of a journal, and H index is of an author. The index is based on the set of a scientists most cited papers and the number of citations that have received in their publications. The index can also be applied to the productivity and impact of a scholarly journal as well as a group of scientists, such as a department or an university or country. The index was suggested in 2005 by George E. Hurst, a psychist at UCSD, as a tool for determining the theoretical psychist relative quality, and is sometimes called the Hurst index or Hurst number. In short, it is H index. So, how the H index is calculated? Formally, if F is the function that corresponds to the number of citations for each publication, we compute the H index as follows. First, we order the value of F from the largest to the lowest value. Then we look for the last position in which F is greater than or equal to the position. We call it H in this position. For example, if we have a researcher with 5 publications A, B, C, D, and E, with 10, 8, 5, 4, and 3 citations respectively, the H index is the fourth one, that is equal to 4, because the fourth publication has 4 citations and fifth has only 3. In contrast, if the same publication has 25, 8, 5, 3, and 3, then the H index is 3 because the fourth paper has only 3 citations. So, H index is the indexation of the fourth publication. And last we come to the Scopus Index. Scopus is a bibliographic like PubMed, Web of Science. Scopus is another indexation. It is a bibliographic database containing abstracts and citations for academic journal articles. It covers nearly 22,000 titles from over 5,000 publishers, of which 20,000 are peer-reviewed journals in the scientific, technical, medical, and social sciences. Indexation of a journal is considered a reflection of its quality. Indexed journals are considered to be of higher scientific quality as compared to non-indexed journals. Over the years, most popular indexation services have developed. These include Medline, PubMed, Embase, Scopus, EBSCO, publishing electronic databases, Kairos, amongst others. There are various regional national versions of index medicas, such as African Index Medicas. Scopus is a bibliographic database containing abstracts and citations for an academic journal articles. It covers already told that nearly 22,000 titles for over 5,000 publishers, of which 20,000 are peer-reviewed journals. So, getting published in a Scopus Index journal is of great weightage, and definitely it has a weightage point given to the API calculated for the purpose of cash promotion. And now, how to identify the Scopus Index journal? Type the URL in your address bar, www.scopus.com/sources. Everybody is claiming that it is Scopus, but you have to verify. Select the title, publisher, or ISSN number of the targeted journal to find the Scopus indexing. Give the targeted journal name in the title field. Finally, you will get the detail about the journal with all the database coverage. Now about UGC care. UGC has found from a prolonged search for the last 5 years till 2018, from 2013 to 18, UGC has found lots of predatory journals are there among the UGC approved journals, and it has resultantly, with the help of such research, it has established one consortium for academic and research ethics known as CARE to ensure prevention of academic misconduct that includes plagiarism in academic writing among student, faculty, researchers, and staff, to promote only quality research, academic integrity, and publication ethics in all Indian universities. How to find UGC approved journal list? Already list is given in the website. Link is given here. UGC care list. And next we are going to show you last how to increase. Any question up to this? Any question up to this? I'll continue or complete. No, sir. Thank you, sir. Means, should I continue or complete? Please continue. How to identify predatory journals. So that was not the subject matter today. Predatory journals are as a list. UGC has a list for predatory journals, and definitely there are certain simple indicators. When just you get an invitation from a journal, you just search for the journal. Definitely, journal has a website. Whether it is fake or not, there are some techniques to check. Go to the Scopus indexation, Scopus website when it claims to be a Scopus Index journal, when it claims to be a UGC care listed journal, go to the UGC list. If it is not there, then definitely it is a predatory journal. And there are some other indicators when there is when there is a publication charge. Definitely, very highly indexed journals have a publication charge because they need people to accommodate. There are lots of administrative people to work, and definitely they take some publication charges. But if they acclaim that after paying your publication charges within 1 or 2 days it will be published, or within 1 week it will be published, and if you see that within 1 week it is published, definitely it is a predatory journal. Be very cautious. So there are lots of techniques of identifying predatory journals, and not to be discussed in this platform. It will take at least 1 hour. Lots of techniques to identify. So I'm not going into the details. And for increasing your citation, first you have to open account in your Google Scholar, in your academia.edu, and definitely you have to upload your research articles, original research articles, and you can improve or increase your citation. And how to increase your citation, I'm just in a nutshell I'm telling you, not taking more than 2-3 minutes, because you are already listening for a long time. Just some tips to increase your citation count. Publish rigorous or original or significant research. Have a focused area of research. Sometimes finance, sometimes marketing, sometimes other things. No, you have to have a focus. If you are going to do research on banking, it should be on banking. If you are going to research on capital market, it should be rigorously on capital market. So have a focused area. So does your paper extend current fundamental knowledge? Ask yourself, is my work is going to be cited? If you are confident, then definitely you must share in the sources already I have mentioned, and you must be opening one ORCID account, ORCID, ORCID account, because nowadays all the Scopus Index and other index journals, especially the IndusSense and others, Web of Science, PubMed, they are asking for the ORCID ID. So once you have your ORCID ID, ORCID, ORCID ID, automatically, and when you have your Google Scholar account, automatically your H index and I10 index are calculated. And definitely you can increase your citation like this in Google's it is Scopus author search. There are other Google Scholar author search, and they will give your H index and I10 index just like this. And you can tell your scholars, your friends, your colleagues to search more and more your article, so your citation will increase. This is one of the techniques. There are other techniques. Due to lack of time, I am not going to the details. If you have any question, you can ask. Otherwise, we should wrap up, because definitely the PPT I'll share to you with all the PPTs I'll share with the authorities. And now it's over to the authorities, because I have taken a lot of time. Very sorry for taking the time. And now, if there is any question, you have asked lots of questions. If there is any more question, you can ask. And if there is no question, I am handing it over to the authorities. Please. Dr. Sivanesan, would you conclude? Or anybody from your end?
Yes, sir. Yes, we will conclude. Prema ma'am.
So any other question from anybody? Dr. Prema madam, would you conclude or somebody else?
Thank you, sir. Sorry, I couldn't unmute at that time.
Okay.
Thank you, dear sir, for such a thought-provoking session, which has provided us an insight on plagiarism, citation, and reference in social research. Your words have inspired us for a better way of experiencing the journey as a researcher. And this webinar, which has been perfectly planned, amazingly coordinated, and exceptionally presented, has made an indelible impact on the journey of every researcher who have participated in this webinar. It is therefore most important to express our sincere gratitude to all who have contributed in creating this milestone. I now request Dr. Selvaraj, Assistant Professor of Commerce and Organizing Secretary of this webinar, to propose vote of thanks.
Warm greetings to everyone who have joined this beneficial program through virtual platform. Wishing you all a pleasant evening. First and foremost, I would like to thank our God Almighty for giving us this wonderful opportunity. Some people inspire us to excel, but some ignite us to be unique in order to be their masterpiece. It's none other than our Bishop, His Excellency Mar George Rajendran, FDP, who is keen about the development and important milestones made by the college. Thank you, His Excellency. Next, I would like to thank our correspondent, Very Reverend Father Anthony Jose, who has rendered timely advice and prompt us for meticulous planning while organizing program like this. Thank you, Father. Next, I would like to thank our respectable principal, Dr. Isaiah, who has rendered timely advice and prompt us for meticulous planning and given right from the beginning. Thank you, sir. I do express my sincere gratitude to the chief guest of the day, Dr. Pranamdar, Professor and Head of the Department of Commerce and Management, West Bengal State University, for accepting our humble invitation and creating awareness for the young scholars and faculty members in the world of research. The session was really very informative for an eye-opener. Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to express gratitude to the Vice Principal of the college, Dr. R. Sivanesan, who ever encourages teamwork and involves himself wholeheartedly in the planning of all the academic achievements and activities in the campus. Your support and guidance is always cherished. Thank you, sir. I do thank Dr. Sanjit, Head of the Department of Computer Science, for rendering technical support. It was highly promising, rock solid support extended. Thank you, sir. I record my sincere thanks to all my dear colleagues of the department for their friendly and dedicated cooperation for the success of the program. Finally, I thank all the faculty members, scholars, students, and coordinators for their active participation. Thank you, one and all. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. And I extend my heartfelt regards and gratitude again to you all. to the authorities, to the dignitaries for giving me a chance to share my thoughts before you. Thank you so much. So with this, we can wrap up, sir, with all your kind permission. Could we wrap up? Could we end, sir? Okay, sir. Thank you so much. And with this, we declare this session as over and we call it a day. Thank you so much.